Alright, let's get straight into it. Today I will be teaching you your first 3 open chords. Today we will be learning about the E chord, the A chord, and the D chord. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what those shapes look like. E chord, A chord, and then the D chord. Those are your 3 open shapes for your E, A. Okay. First chord we will be covering is your E chord. So with the E chord, you want to start off with your open E string. It should be your top string, just open. And then you're going to take your second finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the A string. So 2nd fret of your 2nd string. And then you're going to take your 3rd finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then you're going to take your 1st finger, which is your index, and you're going to place it on the 1st fret of the G string. And all together it should sound like. There's a couple little workarounds to it, like if you're familiar with power chords, you can come up to the 7th fret of the A string and you can play an E power chord here. Play E power chord that way. You can play a Hendrix E chord, which would be 7 on the A string, 6 on the D string, 7 on the G string, and 7 on the B string. That's the E chord he used in Purple Haze. And of course, you have another power chord at that same position we was just at. If you take your 1st finger and you just slap it down on the 2nd fret of your A, D, and G strings, and you just let your E and your A ring out, you get an E power chord. So me personally, like when I'm playing Voodoo Child, I don't ever play it like this. I usually play it like this. Kurt Cobain usually plays it like this. So yeah, you can just bar your finger across the A and the D string on the 2nd fret and just... And that was your E chord. The chord I will be teaching you is your open A chord, which looks like this. And to play an open A chord, of course, you let your A string ring out. And we're not going to be playing this top E string. And personally, I take my 1st finger and I bar across or slap your finger down across your D, G, and B strings on the 2nd fret. And you strum from A down. That's my favorite way to play it. If you want to get really form heavy with it and play the exact shape, you can place your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your D string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your 4th finger or your pinky on the 2nd fret of the B string. And you can play an A chord. But I don't really like that shape, so I just play it with my index finger. Then of course you got a power chord there as well, which is just your A and the 1st note of that chord. Workarounds to it, you could play an A at the 5th fret of the E string with a power chord. If you make a power chord shape at the 5th fret of the E string, you get an A power chord. And of course, this is a little bit more advanced, but you can come up here and bar across the 12th fret from A down, and you can place your next finger, bar that on every note below it, like so. And that's A chord. And that has been your A. But not least, I will be teaching you your open D chord. Your open D chord looks something like this. So, of course, we're going to let your D ring out. So your D string, open D string. Take your index finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the G string. Take your 2nd finger and place it on the 3rd fret of the B string. And then take your ring finger or your 3rd finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the E string. Me personally, I play the 3rd fret of the B string with my middle finger. So I'll place my 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the E string right here. And I'll play it like that. And you just let all the strings under D ring out along with your open D string. Ways to work around this, instead of playing all 3, you could play 3rd fret of the B string and 2nd fret of the G string, and that's it, without adding that high E string, and play it that way. One of my favorites is a D power chord at the 5th fret of the A string. And yeah, I play the power chord more often than I play the open version of it. I think I just find myself loving power chords a lot more. And if you know the cage system, you can count up through the fretboard and play D chords everywhere with all types of shapes. But this has been your lesson on 3 open chords for beginners. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I promise I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Please, please, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching my content.